Yeah, so this is my Toyota Hilux. It's an old mechanical injection diesel, and I'm gonna fill her up with some vegetable oil. Now you might be thinking, why am I doing this? Well, it's because right now the fuel prices, especially diesel, is really high, and this vegetable oil is actually cheaper than diesel. 900 milliliters of this oil is only 119 pesos, which is about $2 and about $2 and maybe 15 cents in America. Right now I'm in the Philippines, that's why I got a Hilux and all that. So this will work as fuel for the time being. Now usually what someone would do with this, if they don't have diesel in the tank, is they would put this stuff in some container and mix it with gasoline. But as for me, I got enough diesel in the tank to not have to do that, because diesel itself is already a solvent. So you don't really have to do all that if you got enough diesel in the tank. Oh yes, I'm gonna need this filter. I almost forgot about this. Not filter this. You don't have to filter straight vegetable oil, by the way. This funnel is what I meant to say. I need this funnel so that when I pour this stuff in the tank, it doesn't go everywhere. Ooh, it's a bit dusty. I think I need to clean it a bit. I don't want dust getting in my fuel tank, so give me a sec. Alright, anyway, so it seems to be clean enough for the most part. Okay. Yeah. Alright, she's alright. So basically, to do this, what you want to do is, of course, get vegetable oil. If it's waste vegetable oil, there's videos explaining what to do with that. You have to basically filter it about 5 times or so and make sure that it doesn't have a bunch of gunk in it. Make sure it's clean enough to put into your fuel tank, because you don't want all that gunk getting in your fuel line, because that can actually kill your engine. All that gunk, well, not necessarily kill the engine. But what it will do first is like clog the fuel filter, and if that fuel filter gets clogged, you can't get fuel to the engine. That's usually what happens if you use waste vegetable oil and you don't by the way, I'm cutting it open right now. If you use, I gotta hold this. If you use waste vegetable oil and you don't filter it, what can happen is it will clog up your fuel filter, and eventually your fuel won't go to the engine. Either that, or I think some fuel filters might break. So if that breaks, all the crap that you don't want in your engine is going to go to the engine. I need to pour this in now. It's going in. I think I can't hold the phone while I do this, but just give me a sec. Not gonna lie, I need some light. Maybe I can hold this somehow. Sorry, I cut the video off by accident. I don't know how to hold this. Oh. Sorry, y'all. I'm having a bit of trouble. I gotta do something. I gotta put the this oil in my tank first. Let me fix this real quick. I gotta have light. Okay, more like that. Alright, that's good. Sorry, y'all are gonna have to look at the side of my truck a bit, but that's alright. I just gotta put this in the tank first. And I bought about 10 liters of this stuff. and I got about like maybe 60, not 60, about probably 70 liters of diesel in my tank. So you know, when you think about that, you don't have to put any gasoline when it's a mixture like that, because diesel itself will already act as a solvent to the oil. When you do want to put gasoline, it's when you don't have enough diesel, you have more oil than diesel. So the reason why you put gas is so that it lowers the viscosity of the oil, and it makes it able to go through the injectors like diesel would, because diesel is less viscous than vegetable oil. So yeah, you have to put gasoline if you're, you know, putting in vegetable oil without any diesel. So you know, you don't want to kill your injectors by putting extremely viscous oil, you know, oil that's more viscous than diesel. So yeah, that's what a lot of people do that do this kind of thing. You know, there are people that go and get waste motor oil and waste vegetable oil to do this. I could do the same, but I kind of can't, because I don't really know where to get that stuff right now, and I'm not so sure about the process of doing all that, but maybe in the future I'll try to do something like that. But as for now, I'm just putting straight vegetable oil into my diesel truck's tank. Now, it's a mechanical injection diesel. It's an old Hilux. It works. It's not problematic as long as the fuel pump can handle something like vegetable oil. Now, of course, as I said, if you're running this stuff without any diesel in the tank, you want to put maybe gasoline. It doesn't have to be gasoline either. It can be something like maybe white spirit, or any kind of like something that will just thin the oil out that can combust, you know, and it won't kill your fuel pump, it won't kill your engine. As long as it works, that's all you got to do. And make sure it's cheaper than the fuel prices, because if it's not cheaper, then you're basically wasting your money. That's why I got this vegetable oil, because it's cheaper than the current diesel price. So yeah, basically that's all you got to do, is just make sure that it's cheaper, and you know, you're not wasting your money buying something that isn't even as good as fuel. So yeah, make sure what you're buying is cheaper than the current fuel price, because the current situation is absolute crap, you know. So yeah, and due to it, they're bringing up fuel prices and all that. So the only thing you can do how to cope with it is just buy whatever can work as something that'll combust in an engine, and it's cheaper than the current fuel price. That's all you got to do. I'm no expert on this stuff, but from what I've seen, what I've heard, I'm just trying this stuff. I've tried it before and it works, so I'm doing it again, and I'm going to keep doing this until the fuel prices go down below the price of this vegetable oil. This is the cheapest vegetable oil I can find around here, and it's actually cheaper than diesel right now. So you know, this is a temporary solution. I got about 3 bags going into this right now. This is my 3rd bag I'm putting in. I'm just filling it up until, you know, it's at maybe almost full tank or something. Yeah. And there's a lot of warnings about doing this, you know. They say that if you do this all the time, if you do this long term, it'll kill your mechanical injection pump. It really won't, as long as you know how to mix this stuff with gasoline. As I said, if you already got a lot of diesel in the fuel tank, you don't have to worry about mixing it. But if you're running pure vegetable oil, you want to mix a bit of gasoline in there so that it becomes less viscous, it becomes like diesel. You can do this for a long time. If the fuel prices are shit, just keep doing it. Just do it as long as the fuel prices are worse than vegetable oil. That's how you do it. Now, the reason why some people might have failure with this is because they don't know what they're doing. You really got to do research on this stuff to know whether it's going to work or not. If you don't do your research and you don't look up what people are saying about this stuff, you're not going to know enough, and you might kill your engine. For example, you put just pure vegetable oil without anything thinning it out, you're going to kill your engine. Now, of course, what I'm doing right now probably isn't the best option, but I'm not going to spend money on getting a 2-tank system just to do this. That's what a lot of people recommend. I'm not doing all that. So, you know, when the diesel runs low, I'm gonna keep putting vegetable oil and probably add some gasoline to see what it does. You know, well, of course, you know, it's just gonna run. It'll run. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if I mentioned, but I bought like 6 bags of this stuff. It's each bag is 1.8 liters, so that's well, I calculated it earlier, and 1.8 times 6 is 10.8, so this is about 10.8 liters of vegetable oil going into my diesel tank. And you know why this works? Y'all, if y'all know anything about diesel engines, y'all know about the guy who made them. His name was Rudolf Diesel. He actually made these to run on oil. He made these engines to be able to run on peanut oil, sunflower oil, any kind of oil that you can find that's combustible. And, you know, vegetable oil is combustible. So, you know, when they were still making these diesels with mechanical injection pumps, you could still do it like that. In fact, they didn't really change the design of diesel engines until like, I think not early 2000s, about like maybe 2005, 2006. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time, but like they didn't really start changing it up completely until about 2005, I would say. I mean, yeah. At least that's what it says on Google. You know, I don't know everything. I'm not a know-it-all, but that's what I know. Well, my truck is a 2003 Hilux, and it's still got a mechanical injection pump. It's a Bosch VE. That's what some people say, you know, to run in a mechanical injection engine if you're not gonna run diesel, or diesel's too high of a price. If diesel's too high of a price, basically what you want is, wait a second. Basically what you want to do is just, yeah, get vegetable oil, the cheapest oil that you can find that works. Now, if you're doing it, yeah, as waste, if you're doing it with waste oil, it's free. But I don't know where to get waste oil right now. Maybe I'll inquire sometime, yeah. So yeah, that's basically what you want to do, is just be as cheap as possible during a time like this, because what's happening is, like, you know, the people, the higher ups, you can't really talk about them very much, but the people that are like higher up are doing this because they want more money. They want people to pay more for something that, you know, is usually cheap, you know. And this whole entire bullcrap going on right now in the Middle East is just, it's all a game for money. It's all for oil. It's all for whatever they can get out of it. It's money. It's what they want. So, you know, right now, you know, all the people with gas engines, diesel engines, you got to start making your own fuel. There are some people that say the only solution is to buy an EV. I mean, EVs are fine, but I'm not gonna go and buy an EV just to survive. If I know that my engine can run on something like vegetable oil, In fact, it can run on waste vegetable oil. It's just I don't know where to get it, so that's all right. So, you know, if you're a guy that doesn't want to get an EV, or you don't got the money for an EV but you got an old diesel, or maybe even an old carbureted gasoline car, all you gotta do is just make your own fuel. Now, I don't really know what to do, how to make alternative petrol. That's for other people that know how to do it to talk about. So, you know, you just gotta make your own stuff. I think I'm on my last bag of oil, if I'm not mistaken. I'll check again in a second. But anyway, they're even talking about shutting down fuel stations, and you know, that's not sustainable. We can't sustain on that. It's just, to me, what this is just a big thing to make people go buy EVs or whatever, you know, hybrid engines. Yeah, hybrids are okay, but you know, I just don't really care to have that. And I already got this old mechanical injection diesel truck, so why am I gonna go bother to buy an EV when I can just get vegetable oil and run it in this thing, maybe get a little bit of gasoline, put it in there, and mix it with the vegetable oil. They'll run on this stuff. There's really there's really no use in worrying so much about getting an EV. EVs are okay, you can get one if you want, but as for someone like me that doesn't really care about getting one and just, you know, doesn't want to spend money on a new vehicle or whatever, just do this. Or if you don't have an old truck, find one that's in pretty decent condition, got a mechanical injection pump, or if you want a petrol, just get an old carbureted car and try to make alternative fuel for it. That's all you really got to do. Now, for petrol cars, what I know so far is that it's more complicated, because give me a sec. I need to check if I still got more oil in here. Y'all gonna see the inside of my truck a bit. Do I got more oil? I don't think I got any more oil to put into my truck. I think that's all. Yeah, that's all, huh? If that's all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's 6 bags of vegetable oil. I don't think there's any more in these bags, right? There's something that I don't like about these bags. You can't really tell if you get all of it out compared to a bottle. But these bags are cheaper. That's why I got them, because, you know, they're the cheapest option of vegetable oil right now. This is the funnel. So that's despite whatever might have come out and got onto the ground, that's about 10.8 liters of vegetable oil in my fuel tank. As I showed you at first, I was trying to put it into the tank. You see a bunch of empty bags. This is not bull crap. This is not bull. I don't know where the video cut off, but I'll restart where I thought I left off. So I'm done putting all the bags into my truck. I mean, all the oil. That's about 10.8 liters, despite what might be on the ground. You know, there's a little bit of vegetable oil right there. You see, the tank has got some oily stuff on it. It's probably some of it came out. This is the cap. This is all the bags. This is not bullcrap. I did not bullcrap, y'all. If you're watching this video, I'm not bullcrapping you. I really put vegetable oil in this thing. Now, I think no one really talks about this, because most people who talk about this just say, you know, you mix the oil and stuff before you put it in the tank. But as for me, I haven't done that. So basically what I do when I'm done with all that is I shake my truck a bit. Shake it about like maybe 4 or 5 times. Maybe I should shake it more than that, but you know, I shake it a bit. Wait, let me put this funnel in the bag real quick. I shake her about 4 or 5 times or more, maybe about 7 times. just so that the oil can like get in with the diesel and like mix together. So give me a sec, let me shake this real quick. Okay, I shaked it quite a bit. Now, I don't think it immediately does anything. Like, I don't think the oil immediately goes down when you do that, but whatever. It'll run on that stuff anyway. So, yeah, I'm not bullshitting. I'm not bullshitting, y'all. I really put a 10 liters, 10.8 liters of this into the fuel tank. She's already warmed up and all that. I drove here, so you know it's warmed up and all that stuff. Now, of course, it's still got diesel, and it's actually still got some of that previous vegetable oil in the fuel pump. I'll show you right now. She'll start right up. Of course, it's warmed up, no problem. Yeah, and the fuel meter doesn't. It's going up a bit. You can see it. You can see that fuel meter going up. Look at that. Look at that. That was at the mark below that just now. See, it's going up. It's going up, bro. I'm not bullcrapping, y'all. If y'all think that, I'm not. It's going up. Watch that. Watch that sucker go up. That's vegetable oil. Now, I don't know if it filled it up all the way. I think it filled it up to about... it's still going up. Hey. I think it's gonna stop there. You know, it's a big tank, so yeah. But it went up from about this mark right here all the way up to there. That's about 10.8 liters despite what's on the ground. That's all vegetable oil. Now, of course, the rest of it is diesel and some previous mix of vegetable oil, and I actually put some two-stroke oil in this too, just to make sure that, you know, it kind of lubricates the walls. So yeah, give me a sec. And of course, you know, the exhaust doesn't kill your lungs when you breathe this stuff, because it's, oh my goodness, look at that. Hey, almost full tank. It's almost, I think that is about, it's about full tank from 10 liters of vegetable oil. As you can see, it filled. Oof. Sorry, y'all, I cut off my video again, but as you can see, it went from here all the way. Oh my goodness, I think that's full tank, y'all. It went all the way up. Yo, that's all the way up. That's all on vegetable oil. And you know, when you fill up a tank, it's usually at what's at the top that immediately starts going first. So, you know, it's running on vegetable oil, more vegetable oil than diesel right now, because it filled up with vegetable oil just now. So, you know, what's going through the injectors right now is vegetable oil. So let's give her a little drive. Oh, I hope I didn't leave nothing. Wait, let me check real quick. I don't know if I left anything. Give me a sec, y'all. Alright, y'all, I'm back. So I didn't leave anything. It's alright. Let's keep going. I'm gonna show y'all that this thing runs fine on this stuff. You see it's idling fine. It's revving up. And if you've ever driven one of these old Hiluxes with a naturally aspirated engine, you know how these things drive. You know how they're kind of slow. But you see that? She's running on that shit. She's running on vegetable oil right now. I had to slow down because there's some potholes. But when I get on the highway a bit, you can really see. Yeah, she runs fine on this stuff. The one thing that you want to make sure is that you make sure that the oil isn't going to kill the fuel pump. You have to mix the oil with something to make it less viscous, make it more like diesel, so your fuel pump doesn't get killed, you know, so that it doesn't clog up. And also your injectors, if you don't bring down the viscosity of the oil, it's likely that your injectors will clog up, because, you know, oil, even diesel itself, eventually clogs up injectors. You know, everyone who owns a diesel knows this. So imagine oil, you know, it's significantly more viscous than diesel. So you're burning oil in a diesel engine. Give me a sec. You're burning vegetable oil in a diesel engine. So if you don't somehow lower the viscosity of that vegetable oil, it's gonna clog up your injectors. It's gonna clog up first your fuel filter. It's gonna coke up in the fuel line, and it's gonna clog up the injectors. There are people that make videos about this to warn you about the possibility of something like vegetable oil clogging up your fuel line, your fuel filters, your fuel injectors, all of that. So what you want to do to make sure that this stuff works is either you have enough diesel in your fuel tank, or you have some gasoline mixed in there. Now usually what's recommended is about, oh, y'all hear that? That's a sport bike. Anyway, let me get going again. So what you want is about 10 to 20% gasoline in the vegetable oil if you're not running any diesel. If you want to run just pure vegetable oil, you gotta lower the viscosity. That's also if you're not running a 2-tank fuel system. If you're running a 2-tank fuel system, you don't gotta worry about putting gasoline into the vegetable oil. You know, there's videos on how to do a 2-tank fuel system. But for this, you know, for someone like me who's not gonna go and spend money on that and doesn't really know where to get waste vegetable oil or waste motor oil at the moment, what you want to do is find cheap straight vegetable oil at your local store, and you want to, give me a sec, let me get on the road here. Okay, so you want to get some cheap vegetable oil at the store and get a little bit of gasoline. You can either get gas at the gas station or get some stale gasoline at a maybe a mechanic shop or something. Or if you have some old gasoline laying around or something like that, or it doesn't even have to be gasoline. If it's something like maybe ethanol, or, well, I don't know about ethanol. It needs to be something that can combust and won't kill your engine, and can lower the viscosity of vegetable oil. So if you have all of that, mix it together and put it into your diesel tank, and make sure it's not a common rail diesel, because, you know, those can't handle the kind of alternative fuels that a mechanical injection diesel can. So yeah, that's basically all of what you're supposed to do during a time like this where diesel is so high and the prices, you know. You want to get vegetable oil, as long as it's cheaper than diesel. You can see it's running fine, you know. It's running fine on this stuff. It's not choking up, it's not hesitating. It's doing just fine. It's like I'm running it on diesel. So, you know, you want to do this, get some veggie oil. Either it's waste or straight vegetable oil, as long as it's cheaper than diesel. Get a little bit of gasoline, about 10%, mix it in there, and put it in your fuel tank. As long as it's a mechanical injection diesel, it'll handle this stuff. And you can do the same stuff with motor oil. Make sure it's not new motor oil, because that's significantly more expensive than diesel, even with the prices right now. So yeah, if it's used motor oil, you're going to want to filter that stuff about maybe 5 to 10 times just to get all of the current, all the present sludge out of it, then let it sit for about a week or 2 weeks if you want to be really safe. Let all the crap out that's in the bottom, then get the rest of it, mix it with some gasoline, put it in your diesel tank. It'll burn. A lot of people do this because, they don't want to spend money on fuel. Me, I'm doing it right now too because of that. So, you gotta think about it. And you gotta make sure that you know what you're doing with this stuff, because like as I said, this can kill your fuel pump. This can clog your fuel filter, this can clog your injectors, this can coke up your fuel lines. You don't want any of that. So if you really want to make this happen and do it right, you gotta do some research. Listen to what I said in this video. Some of what I said, not everything I said is gonna fit every environment. Right now I'm in the Philippines, it's a hot climate, so vegetable oil, it becomes less viscous in the heat. So when I'm driving this thing with the current ambient temperature, it's about like maybe, well, at night it's about maybe 27 degrees, but during the day it gets about 37 to 40 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit, Celsius. That's about maybe 85 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit for all you guys still in America or something like that. So yeah, if you want to burn all of that in your mechanical injection diesel, listen to some of what I said in this video if you're in a hot climate. But if you're in a colder climate, you gotta make something like a 2-tank fuel system. That's what they say. I personally would not want to put a lot of gasoline mixed with oil into a diesel tank, because you don't know what that gasoline might actually do in your diesel. So just to be safe, you got to do something like make a 2-tank fuel system, just to be safe. Just to be safe. So anyway, that's all I want to say for this. For all of you out there currently struggling with the fuel prices, like me and everybody else, you don't want to buy an EV, get yourself one of these old injection diesels, mechanical injection diesels. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Toyota. It can be a Mitsubishi, Nissan, as long as it's an older diesel with a mechanical injection pump, like maybe a Bosch VE pump. You can run stuff like vegetable oil through it, as long as you make sure that it's at the right viscosity. So yeah, I hope this helps any of y'all that are struggling with the current fuel prices and you have a diesel, or like maybe you don't want to buy an EV, you want to be as cheap as possible and still survive with a vehicle. Get yourself an old mechanical injection diesel and just try this crap for yourself. So anyway, I hope whoever has seen this, gets a good amount of knowledge out of this. This is just some of the stuff that I learned myself, and I thought I'd help share it, because a lot of people don't know about this, especially young people. They don't really know about doing this. So I hope whoever's a young person seeing this can also get something out of it. And yeah, I hope y'all can spread this information and benefit others, help others benefit from this, because dang, the fuel prices right now, y'all. Well, yeah, that's it. So thank y'all for watching, and have a good day or night. Yeah.